In this video, we're going to explore the possibility of living in Vietnam. Whether you're considering a move here for a business opportunity or maybe for a place to spend your retirement years, we'll let you know what we think are the pros and cons to starting a new life here in Vietnam. My name is Ryan. My wife Emily and I are the Snail Travelers. Driving. Okay, yeah, the topic of driving is where I'm going to begin because it is possibly the biggest culture shock that you could face in a move to Vietnam. First of all, if you're American or coming from somewhere that has sort of a car-centric culture, I'm going to suggest to you that you plan to give up any thought you might have that you'll get a car when you come to Vietnam. And I hope these video clips you're seeing are already helping convince you that driving here is not wise, at least when you first get here. Maybe after you've been here a while and learn how the traffic works, then yeah, okay, go get a car or a scooter if you really feel you need one. But seriously, using a ride-sharing app like Grab is so inexpensive. I personally don't see why expats would want to have their own car. And not everywhere in Vietnam has crazy traffic. Stay away from the large cities like Saigon and Hanoi. Then driving is almost civilized, not really a problem at all. But overall, getting used to the traffic here, even as a pedestrian, can require a large mental adjustment. Pollution. One thing we've heard expats in Vietnam comment about is adjusting to the air pollution here in Vietnam. For some people, the air pollution can cause itchy eyes, irritated throat, and some breathing issues. For us personally, it's not too bad, but everyone responds differently. And just like with the traffic, stay away from the big cities and you'll find that it's less of a problem. Another form of pollution in Vietnam is garbage. This is more of an annoyance than a health issue, but it's something just to be aware of for anyone considering a long-term move to Vietnam. The food. I could make a multi-hour video just talking about how fabulous the food is here. Look up the word bliss in the dictionary, and I think you'll find Vietnamese food in the definition. It really is that good. And no, you're not going to be eating just rice prepared a million different ways. There truly is a wide variety in the cuisine here, and you'll find that certain dishes, like bún chả, which is a fabulous pork dish, is more popular in the northern part of Vietnam, whereas something like bánh mì can be found all over the country, which is terrific because these delicious sandwiches deserve to be found everywhere. And if you're worried about finding international food to keep your taste buds happy, well, you can stop worrying. You can find international food in all but the smallest villages. The cost of living. There's no doubt that the cost of living is a pro. In fact, it could be, if you asked expats living in Vietnam, the number one reason why they choose to come here. Vietnam is indeed one of the world's cheapest countries. If you live in a local-style studio apartment, a very basic apartment, you can find something in the $200 to $300 range, although I think most expats would need to spend something more like $500 to get housing that is more modern and comfortable, and it depends on the location too, of course. In general, we estimate the cost of living to be 40% of what it costs to live a similar level of comfort in the United States. So for example, if you spend $4,000 a month in the US, think $1,600 in Vietnam. That's just a rough estimate. The only way to know what it will cost you is to come here and try it out. But there is no doubt that Vietnam is a great choice if you're on a tight budget. Immigration. Vietnam doesn't have a retirement visa right now, so that can make living here long-term a little complicated. There are other visa types available, such as a visa via business investment, and some expats just do visa runs where they leave the country every 90 days and then come back. But we have heard that the government is cracking down on this. Keep in mind that the visa rules are always subject to change. For example, they had a 90-day visa, then they got rid of it for a while, then brought it back. So always check the latest updates on entry requirements. Communication. Many people told us before we came to Vietnam that communication would be difficult, but we were surprised at how many people speak basic English here. This is especially true in the larger cities, and it seems like the younger people are much more likely to speak English. Now, if you live here long term, it would be good to learn some Vietnamese, maybe just some basic phrases or some words that you can use to read a menu. Vietnamese is rated as one of the more difficult languages to learn, but as you can see here, the Roman alphabet is used, so at least you'll be familiar with the letters you see in the written form of the language. Noise. The trains. We prefer getting from place to place by land instead of flying whenever possible, and we think Vietnam's railways are a great way to get around the country. The Reunification Express travels between the northern and southern part of Vietnam. There are sleeper cars if you want to do it all in one stretch. We prefer taking the train during the day so that we can see the countryside and the scenery, and then getting off somewhere to spend the night. We think the trains are comfortable, convenient, and a terrific experience. The people. This might not be something that you think about when planning a move to a new country, but listen to me, when you get to Vietnam, you'll realize how much the friendliness of the Vietnamese people enhances your life here. There are so many smiles, so much laughter, so much joy in the people here. And I don't know, you would think with all the stress from the traffic, the noise, etc., that there would be more grouchy people, but that is just not the case. The warmth and the vibrancy of the people will absolutely be a highlight of living in Vietnam. I guarantee it. The beaches. If the idea of turning your lifestyle into a beach paradise appeals to you, well then, you are going to love Vietnam. Probably the most popular beach city among expats is Da Nang, and this will be evident when you arrive and see just how many foreigners are here. Vung Tau is another beach resort that, although it does have an expat population, it's smaller than Da Nang, but growing and becoming more popular. Nha Trang is another beach city gaining in popularity with a very vibrant nightlife. So, come on over to Vietnam, head to the beach, dip your toes in the water, and you may never want to leave. Safety. Safety is another pro to living in Vietnam. There is some crime here, don't get me wrong, it's not like living in Singapore, but the crime that does exist is not usually violent, usually more minor theft, and most foreigners and expats live here without any problems. The weather. Do you want to live somewhere that's hot and balmy all year? Well then head to the south part of the country where you never have to worry about getting cold. If you prefer seasons, then head up north where you still get that heat in the summer, but it does cool off in the winter enough to need a jacket during that time of year. And if you want something in the middle where it's pleasant all year, never too hot and never too cold, then head to Da Lat, which has some of the world's most stable and moderate temperatures. Healthcare. I'm giving the healthcare in Vietnam a pro rating, not because it's the world's best, but because it is improving over time. The first time I came to Vietnam in 2007, the Lonely Planet guidebook had all kinds of warnings about health concerns. Things have definitely gotten better since then, and if this pattern continues, I think Vietnam's healthcare will soon be on par with the developed world. So there you have it, my friends, the pros and cons that we see living in Vietnam. And yeah, I know I did mention a lot of cons, but really these are minor compared to the pros. I just want to make that clear. And based on our personal experience, we would not hesitate to recommend coming to Vietnam to check it out for yourself. All right, hit that subscribe button if you like this video. Tap on this playlist to see our collection of Vietnam videos. The next playlist there has our pro and con videos from other countries, and down in the bottom right, we have another video for you to check out. Thanks for traveling with us.